9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Live from Studio B, two guys whose business cards simply say, I'll call you. It's The Bottom Line with your host DJ and KJ, asking tough questions, getting real answers, and sorting through it all to get to the bottom line.
Wednesday night, 8 o'clock, back in Studio B after a week off. Ken had to take last Wednesday off, watch our Lady Tigers out in Oklahoma play for the Natty. Didn't quite get it done, but it was still fun to watch them on the ride.
Yeah, it was. War Eagle anyway.
Absolutely. It's always War Eagle. Got a great program here tonight. Election year, obviously, here locally and, of course, nationally. And a lot of the talking points that will come up over the next several months will be economic development, industrial recruitment. Kind of on the heels of that, we have Will Ruzic in with us tonight in Studio B. He's a project manager for Coastal Gateway. So, Will, glad to have you here with us tonight and talk a little bit about economic development.
I appreciate the invite. This is economic development. This is pretty amazing right here.
Studio B's a little more than what you probably thought when you walked in, wasn't it?
Yeah, it is. I'm amazed.
Ken, it's the same reaction every time somebody comes in.
I know. Thank you, Scotty Barrow. Somewhat anyway.
Lance McKenzie, if you were watching, or if you watch a little bit later, I'm on the subway. Pepsi, a proud sponsor of this show from the beginning. We are out of Pepsi products, so do what you do best and get your favorite podcast hooked back up with some Pepsi products.
We were hunting water a while ago, and DJ's like, "We're out." So I'm fixing to let Cuz know we're out. So let him know. You just did. We getting it ready, DJ.
Probably loaded up.
It is. It's ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
He calls in, we'll get him.
Yep.
Economic development. Catchphrase that you hear over and over and over again, especially during election cycles. I remember 4 years ago in my failed attempt here locally, that was one of the things you heard everywhere you went, and it seemed to be kind of canned answers, going through the deal. And I thought it might be a good idea to kind of get some information out there, because in weeks to come here in Studio B, we're going to have some of those candidates and incumbents coming in talking about their plans, their policies, things in place to help in those efforts to continue to get Bruton where it needs to be in terms of having our footing, so to speak, in terms of growth and things of that nature. So I appreciate you being here with us and kind of talking about the role that Coastal Gateway is playing, not only in Bruton, but in the region, and kind of that concept in general, just kind of in a nutshell to get us going here. We'll talk about Coastal Gateway, where we're at, where we're going, how we're set up, how we're funded, things of that nature.
Yeah, Coastal Gateway is obviously economic development. We believe in a regional approach. It's hard to have a voice on the state and the federal level, especially when you're competing against bigger urban areas with larger resources. So we believe in the collaborative effort and joining forces and being able to come together and show that collaboration. And it means a lot more when we're out selling ourselves on the national stage. So, that's what we're about, is the regional effort. We are funded through cities, counties, some private investors, some large companies. Banks are a big part of us. Utilities are very important. Obviously, utilities are always a big supporter of economic development. Their job's to sell power, and so the more growth, the more revenue for utilities. So those are our funders. Those are who we work for. That's our board that we answer to, and we represent the 5 counties in this region just north of Baldwin and Mobile County.
those of you listening in, please take note of the cell phone number on the screen. We'd love to have questions texted in on your behalf here for Will while we have him with us, or call in, however it works best for you. And Will, I'm going to play just to try to get some more information out for the voters so they can be better informed and can ask those running for public office more informed questions. If I were to say, and I think it's fair to say every community in the country is facing this, trying to get in the industrial recruitment game. Everybody would love to have the industry to come in to offer 100, 200 jobs, or it may be good paying jobs. What are the benefits of Bruton being in an alliance like this as opposed to going about it by themselves?
Well, what you're doing is leveraging assets. There are communities that choose to go at it at an individual basis, and we have some of those in our region. I mean, and those, we consider those partners. So anytime there is a local economic developer, that is a partner. Those are more robust budgets. I mean, this is not a cheap venture. I mean, this requires a lot of assets to be able to go out and promote your area. So it's a lot about leveraging assets, but really it's about showing that collaboration, because any company or opportunity that may be looking at your area, they're going to want to know that you're working with others in your area, and that is extremely important. Whether it's grant funding we're going after, whether it's a business. Or any other opportunity, they want to see collaboration in your area. So it's important to work within your area.
All right, well, let me ask you this. You make contacts with different groups or trying to set up industry in the different areas or whatnot. How do you guys decide what community to take them to first? Do they tell you what they're looking for, and then you look at your spec sheet and see where it may be a good fit? Or whose call is it to decide what community gets to look?
Typically, it is their choice. They give you a pretty defined narrative of what they're looking for. And so, we are obviously aware of all of the assets within our communities. And that's why we preach property development. It is something we're lacking in, established industrial parks. We are a big promoter of advantage site certification, which is, off pretty lengthy topic, but it just means you're industry ready on any location. So property development, being aware of those properties, understanding what that industry is looking for. Now, if they give us a blanket, we just want to be in this area, then we're going to take them to all of them. And we have done that. And we give every community an opportunity to put their best foot forward.
When you talk about assets, we want to focus on Bruton just for a minute, because I think it's fair to say that's what's the very most important to us. The school system. I think we're all very proud of the school system we have here in Bruton. And, of course, the county has a strong school system as well. And I know some of the surrounding counties do some good things also. How strong is our school system, or how much does that come up in conversation when you're talking about people that are looking to relocate industry in our area?
Yeah, Bruton wins quality of life. I mean, we know that. That's why we choose to live here. The school system is a huge part of that. And a lot of our effort right now is in workforce development and actually changing the way we think about technical training. And so we're in those schools and having to work with those schools and reimagine what workforce development is. And so having a strong school system, having good leadership in those schools, and having a public school is extremely important. I think we all know how lucky we are to be a town this size and maintain the strength of our public school system.
And there's also, there's a lot of components that make up that economic development and industrial recruitment. I think every community, and Ken and I were talking about this the other day, I think every community would like to land that industry in their town. But if it's in your area, then you still have a chance to compete for those rooftops. People that may move in that are not a part of the immediate workforce that may come in, whether it's executive level or skilled labor, whatever it may be. Those rooftops coming in also have a significant impact in terms of shopping at your grocery stores, buying gasoline, the local retail tax base that it helps there. It's a big shot of the arm there as well.
The whole idea is to turn the dollar over.
Yeah.
And so those rooftops are where the dollar's going.
Yeah.
And so we do have to understand that industry may locate at the southern part of the county or even in Conecuh County, and know that we have opportunities to get those jobs. So that's why we preach the collaborative regional effort. A win in our area. My main office is in Monroeville. And I think most people understand that you can drive 30 miles to a job, especially paying well.
Well, Ken and I were talking about this the other day, and Ken, and I kind of want you to, if you can remember, we talked about if you get a job, driving 30 minutes is nothing. In Atlanta, you drive 3 or 4 miles and it takes you an hour.
Oh, yeah. I think we talked about, think about the people we know that work at the steel mill that live in Bruton, that drive, what is it, hour and 45. I mean, basically 2 hours one way, over there. So, finding a nice paying job in this area is always important. And if you got to drive, I mean, look at the people that drive to the Hyundai plant that live around our area.
Listen, we have them in this area, and those are we still want them working in our region. I mean, that's a lot of the workforce we're trying to attract industry in to say, look, we have so many folks leaving our area because they're having to go get those jobs.
Certainly.
And in a lot of reports, that workforce doesn't show up, and so we're having to go outside the box to try to show some of those, that workforce exists. I mean, that's a lot of what we're having to do.
There's a lot of development going on down the coast, the Mobile area, Baldwin County. How prime? It's looking at it geographically and assuming that we have some of the other factors in place and some of the assets working for us. How prime is our area to land one of these big?
Well, we're going to find out if they're going to put their money where their mouth is. That supply network, Airbus, in particular, is really preaching a broad supply chain. And they are looking into the rural areas. And so we are putting ourselves, whether it's through property development or attracting the right companies and suppliers to fit into that supply chain. They are talking a good game, and so we're going to make sure we have what we need to bring them to the table. So, it is important that we work with those larger areas. I mean, we've got to make sure we have good relationships. And sometimes, just like in our regional area, we have a hard time, especially, come Friday night, saying we got to work together. And it's the same down there. I mean, sometimes they look at us as just the rural area and, why are you up there? Why are you putting resources there? And so we've got to make sure we have good relationships with everybody in the region.
Since you've been involved, some of the different groups you've had come in during your time with Coastal Gateway, what has been, whether they've come back for a second visit or a third visit, have they left with a pretty positive impression of our area? I mean, do we make a pretty good impression on outsiders?
We make a good impression. One company looks like they are going to, follow through, and so we'll have an opportunity there. One company just really wanted interstate visibility, and so that's an asset we can't help. But we went to the Y, we went to the country club, we walked through the schools, we went downtown. And they came back twice, and this was the only town they came back twice before they made that decision. And so we know what we have here. We love Bruton, and we've got the assets, and they had to think long and hard.
Well, I tell you, I keep going back to the schools. I just don't think that we can prop them up enough. We now have new facilities in place at the high school and the junior high school, relatively new anyway. Over in East Bruton, they have a new high school ready to open, the middle school and the elementary school relatively new as well. So the infrastructure has probably never looked better in our immediate area. Yeah. And in the county, and the schools out in the county look nice also. How big of a help or is an asset of the Porch Creek Indians in terms of being in the county? Is that a deterrent? Is that is that attractive to people wanting to come in? Is it a non-factor? I can't imagine it being a non-factor. But how are they viewed having them here in the county with us?
We've had companies come in just because of them.
Yeah.
They are our biggest partner, and some of our biggest opportunities. They have been challenged to create revenue on their economic development side to match their gaming revenue.
Wow.
Their whole idea is that at some point in the future, they have an opportunity to provide for their members without the gaming. I mean, where does gaming go? There's always political risk, and I think they're pretty safe, and they probably do too. But anything can happen, and that's not where they want their future. They want to be able to provide jobs, opportunities for their members and their community. I mean, as well as I do, they're very community minded, and so they invest in us, and they invest in a lot of the projects we bring to them. They invest in our education, and as we've talked, we'll have some opportunities we'll be announcing and down the road, and you will see their investment taking shape.
What is the forum like as far as getting these different people together, the leadership in the different communities, the utility companies, those that are supporting Coastal Gateway from a financial sense? How often are all those together in a meeting or a think tank or whatever it may be, or are you guys all together at one time? Does that ever happen?
Well, all of those have representation on our board, and we hold a board meeting every other month to every 3 months, depending on what schedules look like. So all of those folks come together, at least in that time frame. But typically, we are in each community meeting with those leaders, almost weekly.
This question comes up every week.
What?
Every week. Do you know what the Lyles Boulevard School is?
It's like clockwork, isn't it? I
had so many important thoughts.
It's every week. The people ask.
And talking about Porch Creek Indians as well, there are lots of projects that they're involved with that, other than gaming, a lot of real estate projects, things that they're involved with it. I don't think that probably this community or certainly probably not on this end of the county that we know about or hear a lot about it, that kind of thing. And sometimes, things get lost in the everyday shuffle of life and we may not give them, you think about it, most people around here, I'm going to run down to the casino and eat or something this weekend or something like that. They don't realize a lot of the things that they have made possible for our county.
Yeah, they are a Gold Star aerospace supplier. I mean, most folks don't understand that Muskogee Technology is a metals manufacturing and supply GE, Teledyne, and a lot of the big companies. I mean,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that's...
As a matter of fact, they have 30,000 square feet of sub-zero workspace down there that they work with a special Kevlar that once it raises to ambient temperature is harder than steel. And they have that in their facility down there.
Wow.
It's actually a bullet shield on the front of a helicopter, some of the Bell helicopters in the military. So,
it's not just about going and pulling and plugging money in a slot machine. I mean, honestly, and I think a lot of people lose sight of that. I mean, as I said, most people don't think about on our end of the county, probably because we don't see it every day, and out of sight, out of mind type of thing.
You mentioned those investments, and you're right. They were forced to go outside our region to be able to create those returns on investment. I mean, they do need to see returns on their investment.
Absolutely.
And so that's when we went to them and we said, we see all your, you're building hotels in Huntsville, Pensacola. We understand what you're doing down in Foley. We want to figure out a way to keep that investment right here. And they said, help us do it. You go and you bring us companies, you vet those companies, and we'll find ways to invest in those companies and bring those companies here.
Because, do you find that that process is as politicized as what we, and I say that process, but I mean dealing, with that is as politicized as what we read that it is. AL.com, it seemed like every other week there for several months, somebody's, going after the Porch Indians for this, or somebody's going after them for that, or somebody's going after, and I think the federal government's weighed in on this several times. I mean, do you find that with what you guys are doing, working with them, does that come up? I mean, is that an issue, or is that just something that's locally
not at all
a political thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's political rhetoric. I mean, I think we can see through that.
Yeah, sure.
As far as we're concerned, their door's been open, the communication's been open, and it appears right now to be a win-win for everybody.
I will be
including the region.
I'll be honest with you, and of course everybody has an opinion, but I personally have no problem with people going to Atmore and keeping that money local. I mean, certainly they're going to drive right on down 65 and hit 10 and go over to Biloxi. If you think about it, if we can't keep it local here, because in some shape, form, or fashion, it does funnel back down through and has helped our community. I think certainly the city of Atmore and that community around down there especially would say it has helped them. I mean, they would have to.
Yeah. No doubt about it.
Just look at some of the facilities and things that have grown up out there around the. I saw on the internet the other day. I think that the racetrack out there they are having some huge events out there. Not like what it back maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago when it was just kind of a local. I think they got some big time racing events going on out there now, and I don't care what anybody says. You get a bunch of people in one place at one time, be it one day, like the Blueberry Festival coming up, whatever, that's always going to impact the local economy in a positive way.
That's got to.
Yeah, it has to.
I want to go back just for a minute to the board meetings. Get those different groups together. They're all in the same room. Does that appear to be a healthy relationship? I mean, is everybody kind of pulling for the other guy? If Monroeville landed the business with the folks from Bruton and Atmore, would we be over there as a contingent, supporting that move or whatever it may be? Has that been a healthy relationship?
Are you talking when we're together or when they go back to their
when we're together? Are we putting picking up our unified front?
We do. We've got a good board. Anytime a project goes into another area, every community says, okay, what could we have done different? Is there something we could have done different? I mean, we may not have had the assets they were looking for, so there is, I think, a little bit of that. I hate we lost that one. We got to move on. So far, we've seen, we understand. It's a healthy relationship, and it has to be. I mean, if it's not, then we're all, we're doing something wrong.
Talk about the Coastal Gateway, the manpower. Obviously, you're here with us today. Who else kind of has, who are the souls on the ground?
John Johnson. Some folks may recognize him. Dr. Johnson, he was president at Alabama Southern, took that over when it was Patrick Henry, I believe, well before my time here.
I bombed the ACT, Patrick Henry.
No kidding.
I mean, bombed it.
I find that hard to believe.
But did you make a 24, what was it, on that final?
29.
Hypothetically.
Hypothetically, 29. Hypothetically.
As far as Stokes knows, right?
Yeah.
He retired from there. He was there 20 years, 35-year career in the 2-year system. So, he retired. He was on the board. He was actually on the search committee when Jim Searcy, you remember him, moved to a state job, and he took over as interim director. He was asked to stay on. And so where Coastal Gateway really made the change was rather than going outside and bringing in an economic developer like they had done the two previous. And what happens is you get somebody from outside that comes in 2 to 3 years. It's a stepping stone to a state job, to something else. He said, I want to find people in the region that are invested in the region, that have a reason to stay here, that have a passion for the region. And even if they don't have a ton of economic development experience, we'll get them in here and, train them, work with them, whatever. And so, I came from an investment banking background, so I had a background that easily transitioned into economic development. Jess Nicholas is from Monroeville. His dad was a doctor there, Dr. Nicholas, for many, many years. He's passed away now. His mom was ready for him to come home. He was ready to come home. He was living in Prattville at the time. He saw where Monroeville is heading. We've all suffered as textile has left the area. Monroeville hit obviously the hardest. So he wanted to come home and make a difference. So more than anything, we bring a passion for the region. And we've got 3 of us on the ground, where Coastal Gateway's always had 1 on the ground, whether it was Wiley years past or Jim more recently. And so now we have 3, and we're able to take on much broader projects. We're able to work in workforce development and work more with existing industry. And take on some of the out-of-the-box projects that we've been able to do.
Well, I think that you were impressed with Dr. Johnson's, even though he wasn't in the economic side of it for years and years and years, you've been very impressed with how connected he is in the state. I think you had told me that he hadn't met many strangers.
No, not at all. In 35 years in the 2-year system and survived that.
Sure.
He's obviously made connections, and he'll probably move on. I mean, he's retired once, so I don't expect him to stay around forever. But in the next couple of years, we've told him, you're welcome to go, but your Rolodex stays. So,
well, you mentioned the textiles, and of course there are things here that you're not at liberty to talk about just yet. Project kind of in the works, but there is something very exciting going on the next couple of days over in Monroe County. The possibility of the textiles having a rebirth over there, and that's exciting news.
It is. We will be doing a job fair at the Alabama Southern campus for a textile company that wants to locate in the region. And this kind of goes back to workforce and again, having to get outside the box a little bit. This is a company we recruited for a year. And they liked everything about the area. We have a building in Frisco City. that would mean wonders for Frisco City. I mean, that's about nothing more than a red light now. And Frisco City's been paying for this building. The copper was stolen out of it. It's got some issues, but it was a textile building, so it was built for textiles. So we located some funds at the state and a little bit at the federal level that agreed that if we put a company in there, they would come in and bring this building back up to speed. They would get it power ready, and that's $300,000 or $400,000. So we had we had all the boxes checked with this company. They liked the area. They knew we had a rich textile history. It still concerned them, workforce, and they do their studies. They understand, and they do a little more than internet researches. They know where we are on workforce. And so every time we made a little bit of headway, we kept coming back to that workforce. So we said, we'll tell you what, let us show you what we have in this region. Let us show you we have people that want to come to work. Don't judge us by the internet or whatever research you may be doing. Give us a chance to prove that we have people that will come to work, that we still have some textile connections here, and just give us that opportunity. And they said, okay, we'll do that. And so we're putting together a job fair along with the Career Center to bring people to the campus. Let's take applications. If we can get 300-400 applications, then this company said we'll pull the trigger tomorrow. And if you prove you have a workforce, we're coming.
So the next 48 hours is a big 48 hours for our area.
Huge.
It is extremely huge for our area. And what we have is a company that's got restrictions. This is an expansion, okay? And they are they work on with national contracts, and products have to be made in America. So these are military contracts, and they're long term. So this is a long-term play. This isn't a let's see if this works kind of opportunity.
Right.
And where they are, they have restrictions on the size that they can be in certain locations. So they have to expand if they're going to grow. And there are opportunities for more contracts. So they need to grow. So we want them to grow in our area. And so what I'm saying is if this is successful, then there's opportunities to replicate this in the Judy Bond building or, something in Jackson. I mean, and
we just need people to show up is what
we do.
We need them to come out.
We obviously, we're trying to put our money where our mouth is. And we stepped out and said, we're going to show you we have workers.
All right, right here tonight, the job fairs tomorrow, Thursday and Friday,
at the Alabama Southern Campus.
From what time to what time?
Tomorrow is from 9 to 2:30 in the afternoon.
Okay.
Friday is from 9 to 1:30.
Will they be able to find what building to go to pretty easily when you get over there?
Yeah,
it'll be marked. There'll be signs, the whole 9 yards.
We'll have all that.
We need 400, 500, 600 people over there filling out applications, raising their hands, saying, "I'll toe the line. I want to go to work." If we can get that to happen, and there's some qualified applicants in there, this thing could be done in the next 90 days.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
how many jobs are going to come out of this?
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask.
100
jobs.
Yeah.
For this area.
It's going to start off with 70, and they'll grow to 100, and they may grow to 150. But I mean, they've promised us 100 jobs.
I mean, decent jobs. I mean,
they're decent jobs. I mean, a lot of this is second income for families, and
sure.
Second income is life-changing money, and usually that's excess money, and that's the kind of money that turns over in a community very readily.
And what is that, like the old Vanity Fair type?
It was a Vanity Fair building at one time.
Right.
Of course, most everything in that area was.
Is this shift worked? I mean, so they'll be hiring for 3 shifts.
Yeah.
We just need to,
and managers.
Yeah.
And mechanical engineers to keep these machines running. I mean, there's.
It's kind of like one of the we were talking about. I don't know, a few weeks back on the show where people say there's nothing to do in Brute. Well, if nothing to do in this area. If you're looking for a job, sound like you need to be in Monroeville tomorrow or Friday.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because there's going to be some nice job offerings over there. It sounds to me like that you need to take advantage of.
It looks like we've got about 100 applications already. So we
need to keep pouring in.
And these are folks that read about it in the paper, and a shout out to all the local papers who really stepped up.
They did.
That ran some articles, and not just the advertising. Most of them ran some editorials, really promoting this. So. We did what we could to get the word out, and so we fielded phone calls. I mean, every time we walk in the office, our phone's ringing, "Hey, can I fill out an app?" And so we send them down to the Career Center. So they've already begun collecting applications. So we feel pretty good about it right now.
That would be awesome if we could have a good turnout for that job fair, get that company committed. That'd be awesome.
Let's take a little break, DJ.
Sounds good.
We'll be back.
Back in Studio B, Will Ruzic, project manager of Coastal Gateway, good enough to be with us here tonight. If you're just joining in, a very exciting announcement prior to the break, a big job fair over in Monroeville at Alabama Southern Community College Thursday and Friday. Tomorrow and the next day, 9:30 or 9 o'clock till 2:30 on Thursday, 9 o'clock to 1:30 on Friday. Need as many applicants over there getting registered, getting their names on the roll for a potential employer coming into the area.
Absolutely. We're excited about that. So, you know, we do need to show a good turnout. We bragged on the region. You know, we told them we have people here that do want to work, that will work. And so, you know, we need to back up what we talk.
If we screw this up, shame on us.
Oh, yeah. It is nobody's fault but our own.
We just got to get out.
I'm just thrilled to hear there's already 100 applicants.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's awesome.
That is. And that, you know, kudos to the Career Center for taking on that effort. It was, you know, obviously it's outside our box, but I mean, it was outside their job description as well to work with us on that.
Sure. DJ and Will, we got a Chamber of Commerce board of director member on the phone with us in Studio B tonight. Hal Whitman, how you doing, Hal?
I'm good. How are y'all?
Doing good, Hal.
sitting here with DJ and of course Will Ruzic, and I think Hal and Will have maybe doing a little working here together here recently, and of course Will with the Coastal Gateway Economic Development, and Hal being on the Economic Development Board with the Chamber of Commerce. And you know how we were talking about the big job fair going on tomorrow and Friday over in Monroeville, and the good things happening over there, and wanted to bring you in a little bit and kind of talk about, you know, locally what's going on here, and what you kind of let us know how things going with the Economic Development Board with the Chamber.
Well, yeah, we're very we're in our infancy right now. We just started this board, and you know, got with Will and them, Dr. Johnson, all of the day. I was very impressed with where their vision's going, and got a few things going on, and you know, stuff going on in Bruton that we're just getting started on, and you know, we got the new hotel coming into town. I think that's a huge thing for us. Actually, got a small business coming in. It's going to employ 20, 30 people coming in, Fort Long, and you know, just a lot of stuff going on, and hopefully have a good working relationship with these other guys around here, and you know, do what we can for Bruton, Alabama.
Well, I know we talked a little bit with Will earlier about how hard it is, and you know, would be to have just, you know, the local one community trying to go out and find and bring industry in, and I know how you and I have had conversations like about that you know, it seems like it's kind of tough for one man, 3 men, 4 men to do that when, you know, the resources are limited, and of course time, and you know, I think Will said that a little earlier. We were talking about you know, with you know, everybody on the board that has a full-time job and 2 or 3 things going on, you know, so it's good to have, you know, Coastal Gateway, and I know we talked about earlier I don't think we talked about on air, but we talked about the Escambia County Industrial Development Board that's partnered up with Coastal Gateway, and so it seems like things are headed in the right direction as far as the industrial development goes for our area, being more so the Bruton area, because of course we're all, you know, we all live here. And, you know, I think DJ asked Will earlier, you know, is Bruton kind of the jewel here? But, you know, what are you finding that, you know, are we attracting like we need to, or is this thing just kind of getting kicked off? What are you seeing?
Things are just really getting kicked off. Like I said, I think the new hotel is going to be a big boom for us. That we need a new hotel here to house more people. You know, we have people come in and everything's full, and you know, they have nowhere to go. They have to go stay somewhere else, and that's just a huge step for me right there.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Really, there's only 2 hotels in Bruton that's still up and going now, and
yeah,
and they stay probably at capacity all the time.
Well, you know, especially, you know, with the jobs that's come in, you know, out at the mill, and you know, if somebody comes in here for another business or something, everything's all booked up, and you know, we have these guys that are coming in they're putting a lot of money in that building and going to completely redo it, and you know, I think it'll add a whole lot to what we have to offer here.
And you got to have somewhere to stay. I mean, you know, if you can't come to a place and have somewhere, you know, unless you of course pulling a camper, and it seems like that there's a campground now on just about every corner out in that kind of the rural part of the community. They've sprung up everywhere with the jobs going on at the paper mill.
I mean, yeah, that's a good thing. You know, now we got places to put these people when they come in for their, you know, the shutdowns and everything that the mill has going on, and the other local businesses here. I got some exciting news the other day I can't really go into, but there's something else going on with some of the other businesses here that could really affect this area. So, yeah, there's a lot of things that we're very excited about.
Seems like that's the theme here tonight. We heard the same thing from Will Liller. I could tell you, but I'd have to kill you, kind of thing. I mean,
that was one of the biggest eye openers to me. Is I guess I didn't realize how competitive this world is. You know, I mean, if somebody gets word something's coming in here, they don't mind kind of going behind your back and saying, "Hey, we got something else to offer you." You know, so yeah, I guess hush hush is the word.
Well, Hal, let's be honest. If we found out somebody was going to buy a car somewhere else,
I kind of related a lot to that, you know, because I mean, you know,
What would we do?
Like I said, it's like I said, that kind of thing. Yeah, you hear somebody going to buy a car, you go talk to them. You hear somebody's got a business coming in, hey, we're going to talk to them, see if we can't get them to come to our town. So
I know we were talking. We talked with Will a little earlier about the different economic development boards and groups that are being put together. I know Will mentioned one up in North Alabama. And I don't know if I said it at the time, Will, but you said 13 counties. Is that what the TVA when you said?
It's TVA's footprint in Alabama. It's those 13 counties.
I'll tell you what. I mean, that seems like that would be kind of hard to compete.
That's just 7A against 1A. That's all it is. We had Coach Boyd on a couple of weeks ago. We led Madden into the fire. Now we got Will going to the fire fighting TVA.
Yeah, I mean,
come on, Will.
That seems like that.
Get it done, man.
Kind of tough to. Do you find it's tough to? I mean, and I guess it's probably a stupid question, but I mean, do you find it's tough to compete with guys like that?
It's always tough, and that's the region. I mean, the reason we have to work together as a region. It's the only way we stand a chance to compete with those folks. Now, understand, in most instances, we are not going after the same projects. I mean, we will not land a Hyundai in Bruton, Alabama. I mean, we don't have enough people in this town to employ the thousands of people they're looking for.
Right.
So in most instances, we're going after a different segment. We got to understand what we can succeed in and go after those. And so that's where we're looking to fill in that supply chain coming out of Airbus. And even the automotive is continuing to grow. And then figure out ways to tie in Mexico and our rail and our port, which is a huge asset. And understand we are in that corridor, north and south, and we have access to east and west and 10. So, those are all some of our, future plans and understanding who we're going after.
Well, I'll tell you one of the things that has me excited, and this kind of goes back to the premise of this show. Ken, you and I talked about it. We talked about it on show 1. You can go back and look in the archives. I think it was the opening couple of comments of that first night. We tried to create awareness on some different issues here in Bruton and get people to be less apathetic and take ownership of our communities. I liked what you said earlier in terms of the people who are now running Coastal Gateway on a day-to-day basis. It's people who have passion, people from here, people who are going to dig their heels in and fight for our community. Hal's doing the same thing along with the other members of that board. It's a thankless position a lot of times, but this community, it matters to Hal Whitman. It matters to Linda Williamson. It matters to all the different people on those boards. And if you have passion and we all take ownership of our community, it just makes it makes everything just much more possible. And it's that apathy that I think that we had kind of settled into the last couple of decades, maybe, where we're just kind of sitting back expecting things to happen. And as competitive as the world has gotten, as Hal just mentioned too earlier, if you're not out there fighting and swinging, you can forget about it. We have no chance.
Well, and Hal and I have talked about this at great length. Will and I were just talking about this. We live in a society now of instant gratification. It's 24-hour-a-day news. I mean, think about it. Back just 10 years ago, we still looked forward to the Mobile Press.
Yeah.
Every morning, especially on Sundays, it was about 2 inches thick or what have you. I'm not even sure if they even still have the Mobile Press anymore. But what I'm saying. I mean, seriously, I hate to say that, but if you want anything, you've got a computer in your pocket that you just pull out, open it up, and there it is. And I know we talked several weeks ago on this show about branding this community and branding, Bruton and ourselves. And I think, and Hal, I think he and I have talked about this a lot. I think we've done a very poor job, and I'm talking about as business owners and leaders and what have you in our community. I think we've done a poor job. We all promote our business very well, I think, in our community. But I think we've done a poor job promoting Bruton and the Bruton area and, what we have to offer and don't have to offer. And as Will pointed out, people can pull up and look online and see all these numbers and statistics and demographics and things such as that. But just the fact that you said that business came back here twice to look at Bruton, to me, that says something.
Yeah, sure does.
Especially when you said one of the, kind of the things was, the whole interstate thing, get into that deal. But that says a whole lot that they came back to look. And I think a lot of times we don't, we have. I mean, we just have not done a good enough job of getting. Let's be honest. We live in Bruton. We know Bruton's great. We think Bruton's great. of course, we're all still here, raising our children, our families, that kind of thing. But we could do so much better. And I will commend the Chamber of Commerce, the board, and the members of the chamber now. I think they're doing a tremendous job getting the word out there. They're doing a lot of great things. They got what is it? This coming up Blueberry Festival. How what do we figure? The 36th annual 35th, 36th?
36th annual Blueberry Festival. Yes, I think yes, 36 going strong now.
And I would say that it has changed tremendously over the last few years from what it was just 5 or 10 years ago. Would you agree with that?
Oh, yeah. We're looking for, one of the biggest ones we've ever had this year. So, we need everybody to come out this weekend and support that. Hopefully going to be a huge event, and we've got good entertainment coming in, a lot of good vendors coming in, and some good food. Actually got the blueberry ice cream coming back. We've got the blueberry cobbler, and we're bringing back a favorite, the blueberry crunches coming in this year.
I want to know, is the sweet tea guy coming? That's one I want to know about.
Definitely, yeah. He will be here.
I think that guy he had to make a killing at that place last year.
I never knew there was such a desire for sweet tea.
I didn't either.
Hal.
Yes, sir.
I've heard through the grapevine that to close out the afternoon, there's going to be a live performance by Eli. Any truth to that?
I wish.
Well, I'll tell you what. Any chance of making that happen next year? Can you position yourself from a decision maker standpoint and get Eli in here next year?
Well, we can't. We'll go after the pygmies and see what they have to play.
But you talk about the Blueberry Festival. I don't even know if I've mentioned this to you, DJ, but I know back when we were growing up here, it was the Bruton Invitational Art Show.
That's right. At the high school. And what happened to that? I don't know how that phased out. You had the art show there in the front of the schoolhouse.
That's where the run actually started.
You had the run. You had the blueberry run going on. You had a car show up there somewhere. I mean, there was a lot of activities going on.
Did the Blueberry Festival? I know it's a 36. Did the Blueberry Festival kind of come out of all that? Do you know the answer to that, Hal?
I know I do not know that.
I don't either.
I can always tell you what day the Blueberry Festival is going to be on, and that's the hottest day of the year. It is always 125 degrees at the Blueberry Festival.
It looked to me like today when I passed by down there that we're going to have some new vendors in this year. I'll say vendors, at least some new displays in down there this coming Saturday.
Yeah, real excited about it. Timberline Homes is actually coming in and setting up several of their display models for people to come in and look at. Of course, they're going to have air conditioning running, thank God.
Okay, well, I can tell you Hal, I'm going to tell you something. About 80% of the people will be hanging out in their displays. I can tell you that right now.
I got a feeling Hal's going to be one of them.
I talked to Steve and got me a room reserved.
I'll tell you what, I passed by and saw one of the models they had down there was it looks like a log cabin with an aluminum roof on it. I was thinking, man, that'd be an awesome hunting camp or something like that. And I don't know if that's a truck, regular F-350 or something like that's capable of pulling that, but it didn't look like it would have to weigh that much. But I don't have a clue. But
did you just say an F-350?
I did say F-350. Or Chevy 2500, 3500, or Dodge 2500, 3500.
The friendliest service is on the other side of town, and that's the bottom line.
We heard that other day, didn't we, DJ?
We sure did. Had it repeated a couple of times.
Well, I tell you what, I know that I know y'all looking for a big weekend this coming weekend, Hal, and I hope that the rain holds off. Have you looked at a weather report to see? Have you talked with Spinks to see what his opinion is on the weather for the weekend?
I hadn't talked to Spinks. I've been keeping a check on the Weather Channel and his forecast, and it's as crazy. Yesterday I looked at it. We had a 20% chance of rain. I look at it today, and now they're saying 80%. So I'm kind of wondering what tomorrow will bring. So
just trust me, it's going to be 125 degrees on Saturday by 9:30.
It will be. It's the hottest day of the year.
The hottest day of the year.
Yeah. We thought about changing the name from the Blueberry Festival to the hottest little festival in the world.
I like that.
I do have a question, Hal, and I mean this seriously. Where can you buy a T-shirt? I'm I love the T-shirt for this year's festival. I've never bought one in my life, and I'm getting one of each. They have a gray one and then like a slate blue. Real sharp-looking T-shirts. I don't know who the credit goes to.
Is that Just Do?
Who did that shirt this year? Who designed
they're at the Chamber of Commerce, I know, and, of course, they will be on sale Saturday at the festival.
Who designed it? Do you know?
I think Clay had a lot to do with that, and, of course, the rest of the chamber. I know Linda and Melanie was really involved with that. And
beautiful T-shirt. I'm telling you, $12.
I saw it. Yeah.
$12, and they are sharp. I'll have one of each color.
Kudos to them.
Do they have double X?
I think so. Yes. We ordered some big boy sizes. You know,
good.
But
how do they have size double extra small for you? Because Chip at Peach has always said Hal could turn sideways and disappear.
That's one of the good things about this year is we actually have kid sizes this year. Something I don't think they've offered. It's always I think just been strictly for adults. But this year we're going to have kid sizes, small, medium, and large, and kid sizes. So if you need your kids for one, come on and get them. But like I said, they definitely got them at the chamber office. So if you need one beforehand, just stop by, and Judy and Debbie will be glad to help you out there. Actually, I called and reserved me a few because Gig at the Creek, we sold out of T-shirts for the festival before it even started. So I said I better reserve a few this year.
So we can expect to see and hear some good things coming from you and Will over the next several months. That the two economic development boards here are going to get together and make some good things happen. Is there anything y'all want to drop an exclusive on the bottom line here tonight and tell us something wink wink that y'all shouldn't be telling us, or can we just not do that right now?
I don't think we need to go there quite yet, but I think it's like Dale said earlier, though. I mean, it's huge that all the communities around here work together and come together because we got to compete with the big boys, and I want everything in the world to come to Brewton and settle in here, but I mean, if it comes within a 30-mile radius, that's not that big of a drive, and maybe they had something to offer we didn't, so anything that we can bring to this community in the long run has got to help everybody in this area. So that's what I'm really excited about after talking with folks over at Coastal the other day is, hey, we can all get together, we can all join hands here and make this whole community very attractive to people.
Well, I'll tell you what, I mean, we're looking for a good weekend, a big weekend for the Blueberry Festival, and Hal, I want to thank you for coming in, and obviously Will for coming in the Studio B this evening and giving us the bottom line. Listen, when you guys can come back and sit and really give us an exclusive, remember that we'd love to have one.
We will, and I do want to mention
we'll have
as you guys begin to explore and talk more, some of these community leaders coming in, whether they're politicians or not, make sure they and you guys understand the importance of our existing industry. We talk about landing these companies, and those are wonderful.
That's a great point.
When we add those new jobs into the community, they're wonderful to do, but they're few and far between, and we do go and recruit those. But understand that 75 to 90% of our growth is going to come from our existing industry, and make sure we put the resources. And again, their number one issue is workforce as well. So workforce addresses their issue, and making sure we're putting those resources behind those companies that are with us right now that can add employees and expand and create stability and provide jobs locally.
Good point.
How
very good.
Yeah.
Very good point. Very good. Yeah, we got to keep our local business. I mean, the system businesses kicking and expanding and, growing. So, and to me, once you got business here, that brings more to, hook up with them. So, yeah, I couldn't agree no more.
All right, Hal, thank you. We appreciate you coming stopping in, calling in.
Sorry I couldn't make it, but I've been on the road, just got in, so maybe next time I can join Will and we'll all come sit down and have a good time together.
That sounds like a winner. Will, thanks for stopping by, and we're going to take a break, come back, and we're going to talk about a few other things.
Another exciting guest calling in, so stay with us.
Absolutely.
Back in Studio B, the bottom line. Will Ruzic and Hal Whitman coming in, giving some good information on industrial development, industrial recruitment. Once again, if you're just joining in, a big job fair over in Monroeville, Alabama tomorrow on the campus of Alabama Southern. Need as many people as possible to go over there and get their name on the line in the paperwork over there. Need 400 or 500 people filling out the application to get that, what sounds like a slam dunk, Ken, in terms of that industry wanting to relocate if we can get the workforce to turn out and sign up.
It definitely does. And listen, we have got a treat on hold on the phone waiting for us right here. Back on the bottom line, the one and only Greg Fleming. Greg, how you doing?
Hey, man, Fort Fleming coming in.
Greg Fleming, you got it started right here about 14 weeks ago. So good to have you back on with us. You've been pretty busy since the last time we talked.
I appreciate it. Yes, I have. I have been extremely busy. I have missed the Bottom Line show, but I just want to touch base with you guys. We got an awesome thing going on this Saturday. We have the Blueberry Festival.
Yes, sir.
Greg, I want to ask a question. I want to ask a question here, and certainly, I know you've been. I just watching your post on Facebook. I know how busy you've been. How many pounds of strawberries have you sold thus far? And it seems like every week there's people just dialing about strawberry. I know it's got to be up to at least 1,000 or better, is it not?
Well, yeah, but listen, strawberry season's been over about a month, but yes, 900 plus pounds.
Wow.
Somewhere in the neighborhood of 900 pounds. Fort Fleming did about 900 pounds of strawberries, and now we're on Blackberry's biggest strawberries from the same farm. We're doing blackberries. They will be at the Blueberry Festival Saturday.
Real quick, Greg, what all are you going to have available down there this weekend?
Well, if everything goes good, I know that we're going to the usual lineup. We're going to have we're going to pick watermelons. We picked some yesterday. We're going to pick about 70 or so Friday morning. So we're going to have fresh watermelons. We're going to have blackberries, fresh picked. Me and Cindy are going to pick those. We're going to have cantaloupes, fresh picked. I know we're going to have we're probably going to have corn on the cob. We're going to have squash. We're going to have cucumbers. And, of course, we're going to have somewhere in the neighborhood of 3/4 to 1 pound tomatoes. We're going to have some awesome tomatoes.
Wow.
Probably have 150 pound, 200 pound of tomatoes. And who knows what else, but we're going to be I've jarred about 500 jars, various sizes of honey, and we've added a new flavor in. We're going to have gallberry, and that's a real light, sweet gourmet honey for cooking and eating. So we're preparing. We haven't done nothing but work 8, 10, 12 hours a day every day getting ready for Saturday.
Greg, I've been following you on Facebook with the post down at the Choo Choo Market and the different markets in the surrounding areas that you've been going to and selling your vegetables and fruits and honey and things of that nature. You have got to be the number one vendor at all these places. I mean, it appears you're selling out of everything you show up with everywhere you go.
Well, I appreciate it. Well, we're being asked by Atmore's contacted us, Evergreen's contacted us. So someone from Evergreen contacted the other day. Atmore has asked us.
Has Coastal Gateway had any official? Has Coastal Gateway had any official communication with you yet?
Who?
Coastal Gateway, the group, the alliance here that's recruiting industry to come into the communities. I mean, Fleming Farms is blowing up.
Well, it's going pretty good. We've been asked by several of those cities. Frisco City's one, Evergreen, Atmore, and we've been to those cities, Uri, and we've been to Canoe and done some things. But I'll tell you, we're sticking. Thursdays, we're in Monroeville. We're taking care of Monroeville on Thursdays, and an absolute taking care of Bruton on Saturday. That's our two venues right now. We're committed to Monroeville and Bruton. and always Bruton number one.
Greg, talk a little bit about the choo-choo market and how has your business grown from day one when you first set up down there and started selling? I think you sold out of everything the first day you set up down there, didn't you?
Well, pretty much so, but now we pretty much we do. We pretty much sell out of everything when we go somewhere now. We keep the freshest local, and we have no. And I don't mean it's ugly. It's sort of funny, but I tell people we have no stickers that says product of Mexico. We don't have nothing more than 30 minutes from Bruton. We are totally committed to local, fresh, hand-picked the day before. If I come to that market on Thursday, I was pulling it, or my partners were pulling it on Wednesday. So it's fresh, and then I pick again on Fridays so that when I come down and see my customers on Saturday in Bruton, they're getting something picked late afternoon the day before.
Well, I want to ask a question, and I may beat DJ to the punch here, but are you ready to announce your candidacy for District 1 City Councilman yet here on the Bottom Line?
Well, I don't know. Was asked that question today in Walmart by another person who is running in another district. Asked me, Greg, are you putting in? Are you throwing your hat in? And they gave me the dates that I had in July to qualify. I'm still thinking. So that could be a possibility.
Are you leaning more towards it or leaning against it?
Well, I might be leaning toward it. I mean, I don't know. Listen, let me say this. We got two great people that I know are going to run for mayor. I have nothing but respect for Yank Lovelace and Frank Naldi. I know John Angel's going to run. I have nothing but respect for him. So, you know,
John Angel's running for mayor?
John Angel is running for city councilman in his district. I think maybe District 3.
Oh, okay,
so
okay.
That's a fresh face for city council. I don't know. I think Mr. Poole may run again in District 1, my district. I believe that's my district. So I'm thinking, but I would love to see some people that could get together, collaborate with each other, and come up with some fresh ideas, make some new things happen. I don't know. I've got another week or so to think about this. But I can tell you, it's I hope to see some good races. I can tell you, it's another good race with Yank and Frank Naldi. That'd be a good race. They're two good people, and I want to say this: the Connie over the farmers market has been nothing but extended, generous. Anything she could do to help me to make the market better. I've tried to help her make the market better. I've done everything I know.
Hey, I want to point something out with you saying that, Greg. I want to point something out. In episode 1, when you came into Studio B, that opinion was somewhat different at that time, was it not?
That is correct. That's correct. I can tell you since I started doing the farmers market, the city of Bruton, I'm just telling you, the people involved in the city of Bruton, the market needed someone with the potential that I can provide with the farming, and there's not been any interest. I came in, I told them I thought I could help them. They assured me what they could do to help me, and I can tell you, if you ask anybody around, I think you'll find out that the farmers market is on fire.
Greg, you're my Citizen of the Year. I think you're Bruton's greatest ambassador in terms of the choo-choo market. I think it has taken off and become a completely different animal since you got involved. I believe that.
I want to say this.
Well,
I'm going to say this, Greg. I think that it is absolutely tremendous and fantastic and a testament to the good people here in Bruton, as well as yourself and of course, Connie Baggett and everyone involved, that what we said from day one on this show was that we can all still get along. We may disagree. We may have some disagreements, but we can all work together to make Bruton a better place. And I will say right here tonight that I think that's going on every Saturday with the Choo Choo Market. What do you think, DJ?
There's no question about it. Greg, every time I see you down there on Saturday morning, right in front of that blue wall that has the Bruton sign on it, I think about those days when it was just completed and there was some different opinions on that piece of art in and of itself. And like Ken just said, we can agree to disagree, but it should be done respectfully. And I think you have been the flag. You have carried the flag in those terms, in terms of getting past that. And, it's just a difference of opinion, a difference of taste, but it's still a lot of good people in this town trying to do a lot of good things.
There's good people, and I thank you guys. I thank you and Ken know. If I'm upset with something, I speak my piece. I'll say it. Y'all know I'll say it. And I'm going to tell you, since I started doing the Choo Choo Farmers Market, I'm going to tell you this. Connie Baggett has bent over backwards and done everything that I've asked or everything she's offered to help build the market. I have no complaints. And the mayor has been to my tent on a couple occasions in the past 2 weeks. He came to the tent, came behind the tent, hung out, and asked me if there's anything I need or what can the city do to help me be more prosperous. So, I want to do good for the city. I'm enjoying selling things. I'm enjoying talking to people, and I'm enjoying meeting people. I think a lot of people are coming that would not have come in the past because I advertise so much. But I'm happy, and I hope everybody else is happy. And I know I'm staying away from negativity. I think y'all seen that on Facebook where I said 2 or 3 months ago, I'm staying away from negative things. I want things to be positive, and I want things to go good for the city of Bruton. I'm all about Bruton. I love Bruton, Alabama. I've been here all except 4 years in the Marine Corps. I've been here the other 50 years. So,
Greg, I think your sales speak for themselves as far as what the community thinks about Fleming Farms and Greg Fleming and the things that you brought to the table. And I just think it's tremendous that you have like you said, helped kind of push that thing along down there. I rode by, I think it was last Saturday, I made the comment to some people Saturday morning. That's about as many tents and vendors as I've seen at the Choo Choo Market in a long time. I don't know if you went by down there, DJ, or not. That's about as many people as I've seen at the Choo Choo Market in a very long time.
We've grown from one tent, and when I talked to Connie and Yank, I don't know, 2.5, 3 months ago, I told them my plans were to grow, and they were willing to accommodate as I needed help. And we're now this week we were in 3 tents, and we had 3 spaces, and we were taking care of lots of people. So my goal is to help them. They help me, and I just enjoy. I love what I'm doing. So,
Greg, I got another question for you.
I appreciate everybody in the city that is working with me to make the market better and to help me be better, and I'm trying to do the same. So,
Greg,
I hope that defines what I'm trying to accomplish.
I have a question. Greg,
lay it on me.
You were here for the first show. You kind of got us kick-started. We have always kind of looking to add to the program get it out there in different ways, we are getting very close to having the capability of being able to do a mobile show somewhere other than Studio B. Is there a chance?
Yep.
Is there a chance when we get to that point that we could come poolside at Fort Fleming and do a show from there?
Absolutely. I mean, we could do one there. Of course, I stay so busy. I'm involved. I'm involved with 3 other farms, and I stay busy. And it takes all I can do to provide, fresh veggies and fruit. People say, "Well, you're going to get oranges and apple." No, that's in California. I'm going to have what's going on within 30 minutes of Bruton. That's what I'm going to have fresh. So I stay on top of that. I stay busy. I'm picking. I've got to redo my garden. They cleaned that thing out. It's dead. I got to replant. But I collaborate with 2 or 3 other places that are local that provide me, to be able to take care of the people in this area in Monroeville. And it's just, I don't know. I say this, and I don't know if it's true. I think I work 50, 60, 70 hours a week. Easy.
I believe it.
I'll tell you this, Greg. If we can ever, do anything to help you sell some of that produce, which it doesn't look like to me like you need any help, but if we can, you know where we're at. And again, we wish you all the best and best of luck on the Fleming Farms. And I know that there are a lot of people out there right now are really happy that you are doing what you're doing, and of course, I know my wife is very happy about that honey. I can tell you that.
Well, I appreciate it, and I'll say this: I'm very much into taking care of the people that are wanting fresh. I believe in fresh, and I appreciate all the people that support me. And who knows, maybe one day we can do something live from the city park down there at the Choo-Choo Market.
Going to do that. That's already on. That's on the things to do list.
We definitely want to do that for sure. Greg, we appreciate you coming in on the bottom line again, man. Thank you. Anytime, give us a call. We'd love to have you.
Well, I listen, if you don't mind before I go, I want to reiterate one more time.
Yes, sir.
City of Bruton is good to me. I try to do for the city what I tell the mayor and the farmers market director I'll do. The people, the vendors that come down there are good to me. The people that support and buy local fresh are good to me. So I'm just, I'm all into this positive zen now. I'm trying to be positive, and I'm trying to. I think I'm doing good, and so, anyways, I just appreciate everybody, and I'm into whatever's good for the city. That's what I want to do.
Awesome.
Hey, Greg.
Well said.
Again, well said. Good luck. When you get ready to announce that, let us give the exclusive on it. We'd love to.
Yes, I will. I promise. And I appreciate you, and I appreciate you, David and Ken. And anytime I can do anything to help, just let me know.
Thanks a lot, Greg.
Thanks, Greg. Greg Fleming.
Guys, have a great evening. Good night.
You too, Greg.
Citizen of the Year.
What?
Close it. Shut down the voting right now. Citizen of the Year.
Listen,
he loves his place.
He loves it. And I know we've said this, but I'm going to say it. I don't think we've ever said it. If you had told me 3 months ago, 4 months ago, him sitting in that chair over there, that we'd be sitting here talking about what we just got through talking about right now, I'd have said there's no way. No way.
Changed man.
He definitely is that.
And a good friend to the bottom line.
A very good friend to the bottom line. Will touched on something before he left a while ago. DJ said they had extended the hours over there tomorrow to 6 o'clock. Not 2 o'clock, but 6 o'clock. So from 9 till 6 tomorrow, Alabama Southern in Monroeville. touched on that before he left and wanted to let people know that. And remember the Blueberry Festival on Saturday.
We have got a tremendous opportunity to better ourselves as a community and as neighboring communities tomorrow and Friday in Monroeville. We need to get that done. Get the word out, share it on Facebook, make phone calls, mass text, whatever. Get people over there to to Alabama Southern on the campus in Monroeville. Get signed up. Let's make this a better place to be.
And that's the bottom line.
The Bottom Line was brought to you by Boss Man Productions. The views expressed by Colin Guest or in-studio guests are not necessarily those of The Bottom Line, the host, Boss Man Productions, other advertisers, or any affiliate of The Bottom Line. The Bottom Line is for entertainment purposes only.